TikTok, time to rock. Good
Yes.
evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's watching from all over the world. I can't figure out what is up with Jordan Peterson. So years ago, I don't even know how long ago this was. This was like 10 years ago. That's when he was giving, I think it was it one of his Bible lectures or something like that? He was giving a lecture. And then he had a question from a Muslim in the audience who was asking him about some stuff. I think asking him about Muhammad or something like that. And Jordan Peterson said, well, the issue is, I mean, Muhammad was a warlord, so you know, I can't forget that. And so he's just
no. His precise words were, "Muhammad was a warlord, and I don't know what to do about that."
Yeah, and he didn't like maple syrup and Tim Hortons. So what do I do with that, eh? So Jordan Peterson, but notice it was, hey, whatever else you're going to say, and however I might get along with you or interact well with you, I can't leave out the fact that there is a problem with your founder that probably has an impact on a lot of people, and I can't just ignore that. And then a couple years ago, it looks like he decided, hey, I have all this problem with all this woke stuff and all these people shouting me down on campuses and so on. And Muslims are actually on the same side with me on a lot of these issues. And there were Muslims who started sharing his videos and stuff, saying, yeah, we agree with Jordan Peterson and so on. And then they started telling him that he needs to have Muhammad hijab on his channel and so on. And at some point, he even apologized. He apologized to the Muslim community for calling Muhammad a warlord, even though if anyone in history is worthy of the title warlord, it's Muhammad. If you get a video game called Warlords, Muhammad is the main warlord in that game. So the idea was he was trying to make concessions. He didn't actually see anything that would change his mind about anything. In fact, it looks like his impression after his interview with hijab and his daughter's interview with hijab. I was said jihad. Oopsie. The Freudian slip there, AP. That his reaction was, wow, this sounds a little bit warlordish. Hey, you'll do what I say. You'll do what I say. We'll harass you. We'll talk about your daughter. And so he seemed to have soured on it. And then in his interview with trigonometry, Constantine, his trigonometry interview, that's when he said he starts talking about the misogynistic mullahs, and he got this little clip right here. We're talking about whether he should believe in Islam, and then his response was,
"How about no? I don't buy your Allah."
He's talking about the Allah of the scholars, the scholars, right? So the people who actually study Islam. He's saying, I don't like your Allah. And so you think, wow, Jordan Peterson is really waking up to what he's dealing with here. And he's realizing, hey, this is not necessarily a group that you can form long-term alliances with, because it looks like at least some of them really want to subjugate me or have some serious issues with having to control everyone else. And so he said no to that. Looks like he was getting away from the idea of forming this giant coalition of Abrahamic faiths. And then, of course, you had the attack in Israel, and he posted "Give them hell." And I mean, how many Muslims were posting videos blasting him? And what was he saying? He's talking about the terrorists. He's saying, hey, go get those guys. Don't let them do that to you. And that was too much for Muslims who don't want him talking like that. So they started blasting him. Lots of them were posting pictures of his daughter saying, you're just mad because Tate banged your daughter and stuff like that. And then so he kept blasting away. He kept blasting away at the terrorists. But then he posted a video where it looks like he's calling for unity again.
I'm pro-Muslim, but anti-thug. Over the past few years, I've engaged
that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. Okay. Continue.
Yeah, and that's something that's ongoing. Now he seems to be thinking exactly what a lot of Westerners think. They think, hey, what are you talking about, man? Like, this is like, in college, I had friends who were Muslims. We got along. We were pals. It didn't seem terribly different. In fact, and I think this is what he's thinking, in lots of situations, I seem to align more with Muslims than with a lot of other groups and so on. And so, I'm thinking, oh, okay, you've got, bin Laden or something doing something like that. But like, I understood, okay, this is in their sources because I was reading their sources. But you still think, when you're thinking, oh, okay, well, who is actually in the Muslim community? Seems like a bunch of people I get along with. And so I think that's what Jordan Peterson is back to now, and thinking that the Muhammad hijabs of the world are just like the exceptions. Jordan, check their numbers, check their views, check how people celebrate them, and then check how many people are following the guys you like and are friends with.
Because I believe that Jews, Christians, and Muslims share more in common than in division.
He's saying, so we need to just do the best we can with what we've got, and we have more in common than we have differences. So quit focusing on the differences, focus on the common ground we have. And that sounds pretty delusional to me when you think about what the difference is. One of the differences that we're supposed to look beyond and focus on our common ground. So what's the common ground? Oh, we believe in God, we believe in revelation, we believe that there's a moral code, we believe in a judgment, we believe in all kinds of things. So we have that common ground. Okay, for me, AP, you can share your thoughts. For me, it's kind of a deal breaker when one side wants to exterminate the other groups or violently subjugate them.
Why?
Yeah, that's just an ongoing issue for me. And notice this goes back to PBD podcast, but even before that with Ali Dawa and so on, saying, of course we're going to kill apostates and so on. It's like, okay, if someone left Islam and became a Christian, he is, according to you, to be put to death. And so I'm going to form alliances and get along with people who say that if someone becomes a Christian, decides to follow Jesus, then he has to be executed. And I'm supposed to say, oh, okay, I've got a lot of common ground with that guy because we have certain beliefs that Muhammad copied, and therefore we're buddies.
Give these speeches and make these suggestions. I sit here and think, oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, surely. Yeah, let's come together so that you guys can form a friendship with, a strategic friendship with those guys who first thing just want me executed. Fantastic. A very great idea. Why haven't I thought about that before? Yes, let's indeed do that. Let's come together and do exactly that. Fantastic. I will help you make this happen. That's what I think about this. Of course, it's delusional. He, after so much talking to the Muslim apologists, he still doesn't understand Islam. He still doesn't understand the Muslim way of thinking. He still doesn't get that they are not after an actual friendship or alliance. He should know that even his conversation with Muhammad Hijab, for example, it was all about just in the end trying to convert him to Islam. That's the thing, like there is a history of people like Christopher Hitchens who are completely unafraid, who didn't, bother, trying to please the crowds and trying to, gather get sympathy from Muslims. They just said it exactly as it is, exactly what they think. And then there are people like Jordan Peterson who just bend over backwards to try and, regain the sympathy of the Muslims. And it's just, it doesn't impress me.
Yeah, it's what I mean. It would be one thing if I thought he, could actually be successful, because, he was kind of making the best point he could make. There are those of us who are looking at the sources and going, this is not going to work. Whatever you're planning is not going to work. Whereas he's pointing out, no, you can have improvements. Look at, the willingness of Saudi Arabia and so on to, come to the negotiation table and so on. So there is hope. And why wouldn't we want to, strive after that if we at least have the opportunity and so on? But, in my mind, it's like even Saudi Arabia, everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. They're thinking long term. Okay, we're weak now. Yes, make some agreements now. Make some agreements now. And then 50 years from now, we might be powerful enough, and then we go and do it. And so it's kind of like the goal is still always to subjugate the entire rest of the world. And again,
Yeah.
it's just deal breaker for me. I can agree with you on everything and accept. Okay, David, we agree on everything. We agree on 99.99999% of things. Only thing is, I want to kill you and take your wife as my sex slave. Oh, well, okay, deal breaker. I don't. Okay, but it's only those two things, man. We agree on. Okay, those two things are enough for me to not want to be buddies with.
And tell me again how that alliance is better for your faith and your people than recognition of your Abrahamic commonality with the Christians and present-day descendants of the ancient Hebrews. And tell me, too, how the decentralized structure of your religion, admirable in so many regards, protects it against capture under situations of duress by the bloody psychopaths who make of faith nothing but a front.
This is
feel
wrong,
like
but awesome.
I think he doesn't. He just doesn't get it. So I take it back. I said earlier that he probably understands, but he has like false hopes. But at this point, after hearing everything that he has said so far, I think he doesn't really get it. He doesn't understand Islam truly. He doesn't understand that it's not possible for Islam to find this commonality with Abrahamic religion and to just make peace and to work together. And he also doesn't understand the Muslim sentiments and the all the motives behind the Muslim support for the Palestinians around the world. It is no coincidence that Muslims come together when a conflict erupts in between Palestinians and Israel. It's religiously motivated. It is meant to go that way.
And the fundamental flaw, yes, you can say, look, these groups are aligning with the Palestinians, and they actually have nothing in common. What's going on here? He doesn't seem to get Islam is against everything else, period. It's not that Islam is against LGBTQ community. It's not that Islam is against Marxism. It's Islam is against everything that is not Islam. Everything is an enemy that either has to be killed or subjugated. Everything else in the world has to be killed or subjugated. So you could say that about anything, any alliance that anyone forms in a group, you say, but they don't line up with if they're not Orthodox Islamic, they don't agree with Islam. They don't line up with Islam, and they would be targets eventually. And so that's why it's just this is kind of hopeless.
I have to say, with all due respect to Jordan Peterson, who is I don't know, very accomplished, very intelligent, very knowledgeable, and all of that. I speak from a very humble position when I say this, but I cannot think of a single Muslim. I can't imagine a single Muslim who would sit here and listen to his words and think, "Oh, okay, oh, that makes sense. You're right. I should change my perspective and rather side with the Israel side or stop supporting the Palestinian side." He has a point. He tries to make a point, but he doesn't understand the Muslim sentiment. He doesn't understand the Muslim way of thinking. He doesn't understand Muslim culture. He's not familiar with how Muslims actually think, why they think that way, and all of that. It simply doesn't work this way. You can't convince them by saying, "Hey, the communists agree with you. They are on your side. Maybe think about why they are on your side, because you're not on their side. You should be on the other side. Do you really want to make common cause with them? Don't you think that that making common cause with them should be strange to you, because it would show you that you are, on the wrong side spiritually seen?" But they don't think that way. And I think generally this is a wrong approach, because they will just that will be no factor at all in deciding whether a Muslim should support the Palestinians or not. They will religiously, traditionally hold on to the position Palestinians are us. They are a part of us. This is a very prominent way of thinking among Muslims. Palestinians are a part of us. Palestine is our heart. So we have to stick by them. We have to stick with them as much as possible. And what they don't understand is they don't really care about the lives that are lost. People can die. What they really mean is we cannot lose that land. We cannot lose the Muslim presence in that land. They don't care about who is supporting them, who is aligning with them, whether they are ideologically in alignment with those allies or not. It is a religious matter. He needs to understand that he doesn't get it.
Yeah, yeah, there are plenty of Dawa guys and mullahs and so on who will gladly form temporary alliances
Yes.
with anyone, no matter how messed up they are, as long as it's helping them to achieve some goal they're trying to reach. But yeah, I mean, if he were able to, if he's making as good a case as you possibly can, given the disastrous situation that is caused by what Islam teaches in these circumstances. But like, it's just completely delusional to think that, like, let's say a follower of Ali Dawa is going to watch this and go, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't be following Ali Dawa. Maybe I should be listening to Jordan Peterson, or a fan of Sheikh Uthman or Daniel Hakikachu or Muhammad Hijab, or some college students who are at the rally, that they're gonna watch this and go, oh yeah, there are dark tetrad types taking advantage of this situation and using it to their advantage, and so maybe I should jump on the other side. Yeah. It's like that's complete fantasy land to think that really anyone is going to. And again, I'm saying he's giving the best case he can. There are things at work which make this completely delusional if you think this is going to work. Yeah. So zero, I would say roughly as close to a 0% chance of success as anything can be.
Misusing faith in the worst possible of ways. What is the famous...
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying, again, he's making the best case he can, right? I mean, this is like, but it's like telling a woman who's in love with her boyfriend, who's actually a narcissist and a psychopath, who manipulates and conditions her into being completely obedient and subservient towards him. It's like telling, hey, you're being manipulated by this guy. You should just leave this guy and go with someone else. She's already been conditioned. It's like trying to get Tate's favorite cam girls to turn against him. Like, you're dealing with a master manipulator here who spent years conditioning these girls to be just unquestioningly obedient to everything he says. And then you're running up to him saying, hey, he's manipulating you. Come testify against him.
This is just so naive. Like, it just sounds like, hey, guys, why don't we just love each other? You know? Yeah. It doesn't work that way.
It's kind of like how is this going to solve anything? Like, who follows any of these guys, who follows the mullahs or follows the Dawa guys or any of this, who's going to listen to this and go, oh wow, he's right?
Nobody.
I would be surprised if anyone. So what's the point? And here's what sucks. At most, it's Jordan Peterson's fans who are watching this going, oh wow, so there is hope for the future of peace between Jews and Muslims. There is hope, because look, Jordan Peterson just broke it down so clearly. He's going to make a difference. I'd love to see him make a difference. It's just we live in the real world where we interact with these guys regularly, and we're thinking, no.
And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray, standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men.
Isn't this considered disrespectful a little bit, that he actually boldly reinterprets biblical messages like an authority, and challenges like generally held ideas with his own view?
I think it's hilarious that he's quoting Jesus condemning religious hypocrisy, people who do things to be seen by others. And he just quoted Jesus saying, "Hey, don't pray, don't pray, don't pray to be seen by other people." He said the same thing about fasting. He's like, you need to make sure people don't know that you're fasting. Otherwise, you're doing it for show. And it's just amazing that he's quoting this to appeal to people from a religion where all of this stuff is meant to be seen. It's built into the system. Yes. It's like if you're not visibly doing these things, then you're in trouble. That's the amazing part.
Then you're a boy. Yeah, why doesn't he quote the Quran? Somebody said, who was that? PC3 said he quotes the scriptures but not the Quran. Yeah, why doesn't he quote the Quran? He should go to the Quran to appeal to to Muslims.
Yeah,
Because
quote the Quran saying you shouldn't be doing this stuff in a way to be seen by others. I'd love to see that.
yeah, yeah. Quote the Quran saying the Christians and Jews and those who disbelieve are the worst of creatures. Maybe that will help make things better between Muslims and the Abrahamic religion.
Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven.
He's quoting.
Hey, Muslims will take that quotation and say, look, he's basically trying to say Jesus is not God. He's almost becoming a Muslim now.
Yeah, and then, but look, he's quoting a passage where God is Father.
Yeah.
To people who believe that Allah is not a father in any sense. There is that you only approach Allah as a slave to a master. It's the only relationship you have. Islam spent 1,300 years refining their Khan. Yeah, it's like the dark tetrad characteristics that Jordan Peterson is referring to and saying that there are leaders who take advantage of this. That's Muhammad, and like that's built into the religion. Like Muhammad is messed up.
Turn away from the terrible, tempting path of righteous destruction. Continue the work already begun in uniting the people of the book, and thereby bring a production.
Oh, he did it again.
What sort of fantasy land is this guy
Oh
living?
my God. He did it again. Uniting the people of the book. Jordan Peterson. Muslims don't consider themselves people of the book. They consider Christians and Jews people of the book, and that is they are lower than the Muslims. They are called people of the book because while they are not Muslims, they at least believed or believe in the books once revealed by Allah. So there is something there, there is potential.
Yeah,
I don't treat them like complete kuffar, but that's it.
The practical outcome is that we have the option of not being executed, unlike atheists or Hindus or anyone else.
Yes.
And so we have the option of paying tribute money to acknowledge our inferior status. Yeah. What is this guy talking about? So, use that to build your bridges. Like, what? Like, are you joking? Who is this meant for?
This is an improvement.
Who is this meant for?
Yeah. This is an improvement from Find a Pen Pal.
Yeah. We still need to revisit that. Like, Jordan, dude, how easy is that though? Jordan Peterson's message to Muslims, revisit it and just sit down and watch it. And he should have learned his lesson after that one where he tried to give advice and they're like, who are you? And not realizing most of their the Dawa guys and so on don't take criticism well from a non-Muslim. Like, you need to shut up, you don't criticize us. And so that's how they reacted. But even here, take the beam out of your own eye. That's it. Deal breaker for them. You just told us what to do. Too much. It's too much.
And this is his whole demeanor, the way he speaks here, this is a very Christian way and a very Western way. I mean, this would appeal to a Western or Christian audience. This is not the Islamic way. So I feel like he's kind of caught in that whole. He's limited by his Christian understanding and his Christian way of talking and of appealing to people, also while citing Christian texts and Christian teachings, and he's trying to appeal from that space to Muslims. It doesn't work.
We had our look at this. We had our Muslim friend here, Mercedes F1 fan, who came along saying, "No, you guys are misinterpreting that passage about slaughtering Jews. It's because they're all guilty." He said that earlier, and here he says, "May Allah reunite you with Nabil in Jahannam."
Oh, wow, that took a turn.
That took a turn. That took a dangerous turn.
Very, very bad.
Hey, Mercedes F1 fan, you see what you brought on yourself? You see what you brought on yourself? Did I want to do this? No. Was I going to do this? No. What? Now look what you've done. Now look what
you made me do.
Now look what you've done. Now just for that, I'm going to make you an airplane. Rip this right out. Why? Because of you. Your decisions. Isn't it interesting how you whine about things that would be caused by your decisions? I wouldn't actually call this Koranagami. This is just like kid stuff. But
And that is why I'm pro-Muslim, but anti-thug. And if you are a true follower of Allah, that is the decision that is incumbent upon you in equal measure. And that goes as well for the Christians and the Jews.
what? Why is he talking about us? Well, he's talking about me. And why is he leaving AP out of it?
I'm sorry, but this is just so ignorant and
This
so
is not great.
naive and stupid. And it's like, I don't want to say this. You know, it's Jordan Peterson. The guy is, who am I to say anything about this guy? But this is stupid. This is naive. It doesn't work this way. He needs to see this and stop trying to act as if he could, influence and change the very religion that these people believe in. It just doesn't work this way. He needs to educate himself more on the matter. Just because he's a great psychologist, which I truly believe, that doesn't mean he can truly diagnose and understand and find a solution to interreligious conflicts, especially from a Muslim perspective. It does not work this way.
To be fair, he's right in the sense that there are plenty of Muslims in the world that you could get along with and so on. It's just that's you can't depend on that, because you can't count on that to really fix some of these issues going on, because their sources are actually on the side of people who aren't going to get along with you, and whose ultimate goal is to subjugate you at best. Harris here says, talking about Jordan Peterson, said he's just pleasing his Muslim subscribers. I mean, that may be his goal. He might be trying. I mean, to be fair, I think he is actually trying to accomplish something good, and he's probably making sense in his head. Hey, why are Muslims uniting with all these groups that they have nothing really in common with at all? Oh, they're being manipulated into doing that sort of thing by these people, by narcissists and psychopaths and sadists who are portraying themselves as good religious leaders and so on. And hey, maybe I can help them not do that. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess you could try. We've been dealing with this stuff a lot longer, and yeah, you thinking this is going to work, AP?
Nope.
Nope.
I mean, he is trying to do a better job. At least he's trying, compared to, as said, Lex Friedman, who is more like, guys, have you tried love?
Yeah. All we need is love. Ba, 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 ba. And why that's so insane is, like, according to the Quran, I haven't counted verses and so on, but I seem to recall way more verses that talk about Allah not loving people, right? Allah doesn't love the unbelievers. He doesn't love the proud. He doesn't love the mischief makers. He doesn't love the extravagant. He doesn't love all kinds of people. He loves you.
It maybe says
maybe if you're a good Muslim who accepts Muhammad and is really, really faithful in obeying everything Muhammad says and not doubting anything Muhammad says, then Allah loves you. Guess what? That's not me. Right?
But hey, have you tried?
Allah has no love for me. Allah has no love for AP. Allah has no love for Jordan Peterson. So not helping, Lex. By the way, if we're talking about what's actually going to work as far as Jordan Peterson's video, again, brilliant. He made the best case that I think he could under the circumstances, but I think even a song would be better at reaching people than all this talk. So here you go. This is what'll actually get the message across.
Ain't gonna follow no child molester, sex offender, prophet pretender. Ain't gonna follow no child molester.
Islam's not for me. Islam's not for me.
Islam's not
for me.
And that is how you bring about world peace, ladies and gentlemen. Catch you all next time.
Bye-bye.